I've bought 4 investment properties over the last few years, and I've gone through multiple conveyancers, property managers, and maintenance issues over the years. So let me tell you a thing or two about being a property investor. Hi everyone, my name is Sanjana, and on this channel I talk all things career, personal finance, and self-development. In today's video, I'm going to tell you some things which you may not know about property investing, so stay tuned. 1. Conveyancers. It's so important to have a good conveyancer by your side. Their job is to look through the contract of sale and ensure that all the appropriate clauses are in there in case you want to pull out of a deal. Now, your finance clause and your pest and build clause are a very important one to make note of. I've been in a position where my conveyancer didn't have the correct finance clause in there, and I wanted to pull out of a deal, but unfortunately I couldn't, and I had to get my broker to jump in and provide a letter of authority just so that I could get out of a certain deal. But in the end, it didn't even matter because I decided to go ahead with that property anyway. Key takeaway is to ensure that you've got a great conveyancer by your side. So it's really important to look at Google reviews or even word of mouth, or you could even ask your buyer's agent for recommendations. 2. The property manager. Get a property manager. This will save you so much time and effort, and it will take away the headache when it comes time to getting tenants or adjusting your rent or even looking at maintenance issues with your house. Many people decide to manage their property themselves, which is great, but once you start building your investment portfolio, it's all well and good to manage 1 property or 2 properties, but when it gets to like 4 to 6 to 8 properties, it can really get hard and become very time consuming. Property managers take a small percentage of your weekly rent, and honestly, you don't even feel the pinch. Property managers also let you know when your rent should be increased. They do market comparisons and get back to you to let you know that you could potentially increase your rent. Now, my rents have gone up about $150 just in the last 2 years. It's so important to have a property manager that has your best interest at hand. I've been burnt before with a bad property manager, and that's because I was lazy. I didn't do my due diligence, and my previous tenants who were located in one of my properties decided to leave, and there was a lot of damage caused by the tenants in that property. However, my property manager, at the time that the tenants came in, they didn't actually do an ingoing report that outlines the condition that they received the property in when they first move in. Because there was no condition report and it was an oversight by my end as well, we eventually could not come to an agreement or confirm whether the damage that was caused in the property was by the tenants or was that damage prior to the tenants coming in. So I did lose a couple of $100 there, but honestly, it didn't even matter because I had to get that property renovated anyway. It was an older one. It was the first one that I had bought, so I undertook some renovations. 3. Maintenance. From time to time, you will experience as a property investor, there needs to be renovation and maintenance work that is done, especially if you bought a property that was on the more affordable side. I recently spent about $14,000 on renovating my investment property, and I got things like paint done through the entire interior of the house. I got new carpet, new curtains, I installed some new vanities and appliances, and my rent went from $300 to $370 per week. It's a great return on investment, and honestly, I'm gonna make those funds back in less than a year, so it's really worthwhile. Some of the common maintenance items that you as a property investor may have to fork out a little bit of money towards include getting the heating done, repairing leaking taps or the shower, sorting out your fire alarms or your smoke detectors. Getting these updates done on your property from time to time is great because not only does it keep your property in perfect condition or in great shape, it also helps with increasing your rent over time as well. 4. Ongoing expenses. There are a few common expenses which you incur regularly with owning an investment property. These include council rates, land tax, and your water bills. Land tax will generally be paid annually, same with your council rates, and your water bills may be paid quarterly. These are all expenses that you have to pay for anyway, even if you owned your own house. However, with your own house, you also need to pay for other utilities like gas and electricity. Not to mention, with an investment property, you are able to claim on a few of these expenses as deductions during tax time. This includes interest on loans, any council rates that you've paid, just as long as your property is tenanted out and is being rented. 5. Having an emergency fund. Having an emergency fund is so important. In fact, it's important in your daily life as well. But having one for your investment property is crucial because there will be things that pop up from time to time and they may require your urgent attention. So having at least $10,000 for your investment property emergency fund Depending on how old your property is, you may need less or more. It's great to have for any incidences that pop up and you need to get things repaired immediately. Alternatively, what you could do is, if your property has appreciated over time, you are able to refinance your property and extract some equity given your serviceability and borrowing capacity allows for it. You'll then be able to use those pool of funds to renovate your property so it doesn't feel like it's coming out of your pocket directly. In fact, this money is free money because it's actually from the property value that has appreciated over time. 6. Tenants. Your property manager is responsible for managing your tenants and finding your tenants, taking the photographs to put them up onto realestate.com or Domain. They will organize inspections or open homes, and then they'll also source the potential applicants and shortlist them for you before they go ahead and sign the lease. Honestly, having a property manager just takes out all the guesswork involved in managing your property. I highly recommend it if you couldn't already tell. 7. Insurance. Don't forget to take out landlord's insurance and also building and contents insurance, just so in the event of something happening, you are going to be protected. Landlord's insurance protects you if you aren't receiving rent due to renovations being done at your property, or whether your property has been vacant for a certain period of time. This is when landlord's insurance can kick in. Building and home and contents insurance is applicable for when something happens to your house, for example, a fire, and the property is burnt down. So the cost required to build that property up will be covered in your building insurance. Just make sure you've got enough cover there. And obviously, contents insurance is anything, for example, your curtains, your carpets, lampshades, anything at all inside the property. Having been an investor for about 4 years now, I've definitely learned a thing or two about property investing and all the tips and tricks in the trade so that I can help you guys manage your investment properties better and maybe provide you with some solutions at better managing your property and getting the help that you need. If you found this video useful, please do follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Thanks, guys.